Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside Pheno Field here in Milford, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coette on the call as we continue on with the Milford High School baseball team in the 2018-19 regular season. Milford coming in third place in the Davenport Division standings with an overall record of 4-5. They will be opposed this afternoon by the top team in the Davenport coming into play this week. That is the Stoughton Black Knights. They lead the Davenport with an overall record of 7-2. They are 5-2 within Hockomock League play. And so for Milford, the season starting out in very promising fashion with the Hawks winning 4 out of their first 5 games out of the chute. But since then, it's been a bit of a struggle. They come into today's action having lost their last 4 consecutive games. So looking to break out of that funk here as we get into the dog days of the spring sports season. Stoughton, meanwhile, comes into the matchup fresh off of back-to-back victories on the road against Foxborough and King Philip, so looking to sweep a little 3-game road trip before they next return to their home ballpark. And as you can see, we're already very nearing the first pitch time as the Scarlet Hawks have now taken the field. So with that, we will jump right into today's starting lineups. We will begin with the visiting Stoughton Black Knights. Leading it off is their center fielder, Sian Swazerski. Batting second and playing shortstop is Robbie Seaman, with the second baseman George Courier batting third. James Genest is the first baseman batting fourth, with Jacob Kaplan, the right fielder, batting fifth. Batting sixth and catching today is Michael Nazaro, with the starting pitcher Brady Conlan batting seventh. Kyle Gagnon is the left fielder batting eighth, and in the ninth spot playing third base is Zach Paquette. And for the Scarlet Hawks, their starting lineup looks like this. Nick Marcolini leads it off in center. Matt Shaver plays shortstop and bats second, with Colby Pires, the third baseman, batting third. In the cleanup spot is today's starting pitcher Danny Corsini, with his battery mate Tyler Almeida batting fifth. Carter Sciutto is in left field batting sixth, with Nicholas Ouimet, the first baseman, batting seventh. Luke Rosa is your number 8 hitter and playing right field and batting ninth. Playing second base is Justin Appleby. And your pitching matchup, both pitchers in their respective starting lineups. Brady Conlan will toe the rubber in the bottom half of the inning, and out there right now, finishing up his warm-up tosses, is Danny Corsini. He has shouldered a heavy load in the starting pitching staff during this regular season so far. This is now his 5th appearance, and it will be his 5th start of this 2018-19 season. He comes in with a record of 2-1 and an ERA a little bit higher certainly than what Danny would like. It's at an even 11.00. It looks like that might actually be a typo in those stats, as looking a little deeper, Danny's only allowed 4 earned runs through 19 innings pitched. So overall, a much better number than that would suggest, but looking for a good outing here today. And with that, the first pitch of the game on the way, and it's fouled off out of play. Baseball quickly getting started here in Milford. Overall, a nice afternoon. Overcast skies right now, but a dry day, which has been very hard to come by for the better part of the last month. But good conditions here at Pheno all the way around, not too much breeze. Temperatures right around 60 degrees as Corsini fires in a called strike. And that evens up the count against the leadoff hitter for Stoughton, Sian Swazerski. He takes a pitch up and away. Swazerski, a left-handed bat. Watches that pitch miss just off the outside edge, so ahead in the count now, 3 balls and 1 strike. He'll be followed by Robbie Seaman and George Courier in the inning. And too much time taken on the pitcher's mound for Corsini. The home plate umpire grants time. And I beg your pardon, a 2-ball, 2-strike count. As this at-bat continues, the scoreboard popping on here at Pheno Field. So it remains a 2-2 count. Corsini, a bit of a deliberate pace here with the first batter of the game. Ready to fire another one in, and gets the foul tip into the mitt of Tyler Almeida. And Swazerski strikes out to open up the ball game. A good start for Corsini. He collects the K. And that will now bring up the right-handed batting Robbie Seaman. Stoughton in that all-orange jersey look today. Milford in their home pinstripe uniforms. That was a new look they debuted for this season, a new spin on a classic Milford look. Called strike fired in to Seaman, bringing the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. And Corsini into his windup. The next offering, that's a fastball that misses inside. Defensively for Milford, it is Tyler Almeida behind the plate, Colby Pires at third, Matt Shaver at short, Justin Appleby at second, and Nicholas Ouimet at first. Left to right in the outfield, Carter Sciutto, Nick Marcolini, and Luke Rosa, as Seaman sends that ball foul and out of play up over the left field stands. Two-two offering coming up, and this is a dribbler out just to the left of the pitcher's mound. Nice play by Corsini, sets his feet and throws to get the out at first. 1-3 on the ground out. And certainly a nice byproduct of all of the rain we've gotten over the month of April is this Pheno Field surface looking in midsummer form, green and gorgeous out there on the Pheno Field infield. As Corsini misses with ball 1 to the number 3 hitter in the Stoughton lineup, George Courier. And he sends one on the ground to shortstop, rolls its way to Shaver, sends a good throw to first base, and that concludes a nice, quick and easy 1-2-3 top of the first for Danny Corsini. He sets them down in order, and the Scarlet Hawks will now take their first swings of the game when we come back next here on coverage of Milford High School athletics on Milford TV. Nick Marcolini, Matt Shaver, and Colby Pires will take their swings in the home half of the first inning against the starting pitcher for Stoughton, Brady Conlan. It's been a very good pitching staff overall for the Knights on the season. Stoughton has allowed just 32 runs scored so far on the season. That is the fewest in the Davenport Division. As Marcolini now sends a 2-hopper over towards first base, handled by James Genest, who steps on the bag for out number 1. Marcolini retired, and that now brings up Shaver. Offensively, these two teams have been similar in terms of their output, as Shaver takes a look at strike 1. Stoughton has scored 52 runs through 9 games on the season. Milford has scored 51 runs through their first 9. But runs allowed have been a little bit more of a different story. Just 32 allowed for Stoughton, 44 allowed for Milford. Here, Shaver's going to dump this pitch out into shallow left field for a 1-out base hit. A lot of energy coming out of the third base dugout here to get this ball game started. Everyone standing, and Shaver giving them something to cheer for as he gets on here ahead of Colby Pires. Pires batting .343 on the season, but sends the first pitch on the ground to shortstop. A double clutch there for Robbie Seaman, and that saves the double play. Stoughton able to get the out at second base of Shaver, but no attempt to throw on to first base after Seaman had a little trouble getting that ball out of his glove. So Shaver retired on the 6-4 force. Pires safe on the fielder's choice. And now with 2 outs, Danny Corsini swings at the first pitch and sends it a decent distance out there in center field, but within reach of Srzuski, who makes the catch for the out that retires the side. So Milford strands a runner on, and we're through with 1 inning of play here from Pheno Field. It is scoreless between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Stoughton Black Knights here on Milford TV. James Genest, the first baseman for Stoughton, to lead off the top of the second inning. A quick first inning for both teams, and here a half swing out of Genest sends it down the third base line, and an easy out for the Hawks to open the frame. Genest out on just a single pitch. as Pires handled that dribbler cleanly. So one down in the frame for Jacob Kaplan. Kaplan takes a pitch down low for ball one. This has been one of the more entertaining rivalries on the baseball diamond for the Scarlet Hawks since they entered the Hockomock League, as that ball is ripped foul to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Stoughton was able to get the better of Milford in both of their matchups in the 2018 season. They split their meetings in 2017. As that pitch bounces in, bringing the count to 2-1. Stoughton winning the first matchup of the year last year over Milford here at Pheno Field 10-3. It was a much closer matchup in their second meeting of the season, which Stoughton edged the Scarlet Hawks by a final of 5-4. And this ball is driven down the left field line deep and far, but foul. Kaplan getting that one right on the screws, but fortunately for the Hawks, twisting off into foul territory. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Corsini now staring into Almeida for the sign. And now the 2-2 pitch is hit back up the middle, out of the reach of Corsini, backed up by Appleby, throws across his body to get the out at first. Nice play by Appleby. And there are 2 down now in the frame. It's a slow roller back up the middle. Just out of the reach of Corsini off the pitcher's mound, but Appleby ranging over to make the play and the throw. And that leaves the inning up to the catcher for the Knights, Michael Nazaro. He swings at the first pitch and floats it out into shallow left field for a 2-out base hit. Not a lot of height on that ball, but well placed, splitting between Pires and Shaver on the left side. The first Stoughton hit of the afternoon gives the visitors a little life and a chance for the starting pitcher for the Knights, Brady Conlan, to help his own cause. A couple of checks over at first base now. But both times, Nazaro able to get back. Corsini from the stretch for the first time in the game and gets a pop-up off behind home plate. Almeida going as far as he can, but that ball over the backstop for strike 1. This is our second coverage of the Scarlet Hawks baseball team on the season, and a chance to capture a wild game in the home opener between Milford and Foxborough a couple of weeks ago, a game that Milford was able to win in walk-off fashion. Danny Corsini was the starter in that game as well, as this ball fires its way right through the press box windows here. The catch not made, but fortunately no injuries to account for either. It's a no-ball, 2-strike count, keeping the Milford TV crew on its toes here in the press box. Here's the 0-2, that's high. Now to a lead at first base is Nazaro, and then immediately checked on by Corsini. Corsini very aware of Nazaro, the catcher, over at first base. He does not go as the pitch is lifted in the air over towards first base. Wilmette has it sized up. He makes the catch, and that will retire the side. So Corsini quickly pitches his way around to 2-out base hit. On to the bottom half of the second inning we go. It remains scoreless here at Fino Field on Milford TV. The captain, Tyler Almeida, leading off the bottom half of the second inning. Almeida followed by Carter Sciutto and Nicholas Lament. And the first pitch of the frame from Brady Conlan misses up and away for ball one. Both teams with a hit now in the game. And a 2-ball, no-strike count now on the number 5 hitter, Tyler Almeida. And now a called strike. Almeida looking to get it going a little bit more with the bat. He's at .208 with the batting average coming into play today. 5 hits on the season. Sends a fly ball now out to left field. Getting twisted around out there is Gagnon. Now almost overruns the ball, but is able to hang in there to make the catch. That was an adventure out in left field. But in the end, Gagnon able to make the play for out number 1. So Almeida retired, and now Carter Sciutto digging in. Sciutto in his first varsity season, off to a very good start as he takes strike 1 in this at-bat. Sciutto batting .345. He has 10 hits and 29 at-bats. He has 3 doubles, 5 runs batted in. He scored 5 runs on the season, also has a couple of stolen bases, so he has been one of the better offensive weapons in this lineup on the season. This time he pops it up, going after a low pitch, sending it just behind the pitcher's mound where the shortstop ranges in to make the catch. And very quickly, it's 2 up and 2 down. And now we'll see the first at bat of the day for Nicholas Lament, who's batting an even .300. He's been a patient hitter on the season, one of the leaders on the team in walks with 5. Almeida does have the most walks on the team this year with 9. A 1-ball, 1-strike count now. Lament slices that ball foul and out of play down the left field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes with the bases empty and 2 away. Both pitchers very sharp in these early innings. Here comes the 1-2 from Conlan, and that is waved at and missed. First strikeout of the game for Conlan, and that wraps up a 1-2-3 second inning. 2 innings in the books now from Fino. It is still scoreless between the Hawks and the Knights here on Milford TV. Welcome back into our coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. Already getting into the 3rd inning. It's been a quick pace to this game so far. Both pitchers very good. And Corsini delivering ball 1 low to the number 8 hitter, Kyle Gagnon. And now 2 balls and no strikes the count. Stoughton trying to bring the energy level up over in the first base dugout as this 3rd inning gets started. The 2-0 pitch. And that one high as well. 3 balls and no strikes. Corsini falling well behind. And his 3-0 now touches the inside corner. Corsini with 8 walks in 19 innings pitched coming into the game this afternoon. Now ready with a 3-1, and that is inside for ball 4. So there is his 9th walk of the season. Never a good start to walk the leadoff man in an inning. Gagnon aboard now for the 3rd baseman and number 9 hitter, Zach Paquette. As Gagnon immediately bounces out to a lead at first. And Corsini will carefully toss over to first base. A little bit more of a check-in than anything. It was a slow pickoff move. And this time a quicker one over there as he doubles up on pickoff checks to the first base bag. Corsini back to the set, and the infield umpire calling the balk on Corsini. And so once again, Corsini very concerned with the runner at first base and gets charged with the balk. Head coach Alex Dion not liking the call. He goes out to talk to the infield umpire about it. And Coach Dion not at all pleased. Trying to keep Corsini out of the conversation, but Coach Dion very demonstrative out there with the umpire as he makes his case. And still not satisfied. It does not appear that the umpire is inclined to change his mind. But Coach Dion will continue to get his money's worth. Mike Armour, the head coach of the Stoughton team. Two very good coaches in the Hockomock League going against one another today. And it looks like the infield ump has heard about enough, trying to get Coach Dion back to the third base dugout, but Coach Dion not at all pleased. And right now, Corsini continuing to get involved off behind the pitcher's mound. And so what was a quick pace to the start of this game has suddenly ground to a halt as this conversation now getting longer and longer. Light breeze now starting to pick up across the field from right to left. And so at this point, it looks like we are set to continue. The balk call will stand. The two coaches finishing up the conversation behind the third base bag, and finally now Coach Dion back to the third base dugout, but still a last bit of business to go as the infield umpire now has a bit of a one-on-one conversation with Corsini. And it will be interesting to see how this delay in the action affects Corsini here, as he now has a runner in scoring position with nobody out in the inning. And certainly will be thinking about those mechanics a little bit more after the balk call. And now fires in a pitch in the dirt. It gets away from Almeida. He can't find it. Tyler Almeida finally picking it up right at the edge of the dirt and circling home plate, but not before Gagnon now advances to third base, so gets to second base on a balk, and now to third base on a wild pitch. And opportunity knocking here for the Black Knights to start off this third inning. A 1-ball, no-strike count. Now to the batter, who sends a line drive out to center field. In at first was Marcolini. Now back, he makes the catch, fires it back in, but no problem for Kyle Gagnon to come in and score. So the walk, the balk, and the wild pitch immediately yielding dividends for the Stoughton Black Knights as they are able to strike first to take a 1-0 lead. Credit Zach Paquette with the sacrifice fly. And so now the base is empty with one out. And Corsini will now see the second time through this Stoughton lineup. Swarzewski in there, and he takes a look at strike one, was showing bunt, but takes the strike. Swarzewski striking out against Corsini back in the first. The 0-1 pitch carves a path through the outside corner for strike two. And Corsini with a quicker pace now. The 0-2 pitch, it is offered at. Swarzewski trying to hold up on the swing, but he could not, and he strikes out for the second time. 2 down in the inning for the shortstop, Robbie Seaman. So Corsini starting to regain his composure now after the balk call. A good-looking off-speed pitch for strike one to Seaman, who grounded out back to the pitcher his first time up. Now the 0-1. That drops too low. Bounces back out in front of the plate. Almeida picks it up and sends it back to the mound. A ball and a strike with 2 outs and the bases empty in the top half of the third. Here's the pitch. High for a ball. And the next one on the way, a fastball misses down and in. And Corsini falling behind, 3 balls and a strike. Made quick work of Strzelecki, but now falling behind, and he's going to drill Seaman in the back. And the inning will continue, another base runner. And we'll have a visit now from the Milford coaching staff back out to the mound, so another delay in the action. Stoughton grinding out a run in this inning, helped along again by the balk call, which drew the ire of the Milford coaching staff, and then a wild pitch, which certainly felt like it was a bit of frustration or unease on the mound from Corsini in the pitch following that long break for the argument. And the sacrifice fly, a strikeout on 3 pitches of Strzelecki, but now the walk to keep the inning going, or excuse me, the hit by pitch to keep the inning going. Now for George Courier. Courier ready to go. Seaman out to a lead at first base. Corsini fires in, but misses the zone for ball 1. Courier grounded out to shortstop in the first inning. And that pitch hits the inside edge for a called strike 1. And now the pickoff check at first base. There have not been a lot of base runners for Stoughton so far in this game, but when there have been, Corsini has been very concerned, and right on cue, the runner takes off as Corsini sent the throw into the plate. And Almeida's throw down to second base, not close, so Courier gets, or excuse me, Seaman gets the steal, getting himself into scoring position for Courier with 2 down. It is a 1-ball, 2-strike count on the batter. The next pitch, breaking ball that stays high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Milford bench trying to will Corsini through this inning. Courier ready at the plate, Corsini to the set. And the 2-2. Tried the same pitch, but again left it high. And a full count now. A lead at second base for Robbie Seaman. And the payoff pitch, the runner goes, and the pitch fouled hard off of Tyler Almeida. That might have gone right off the face mask. Almeida getting his bell rung on that hard foul ball. Trying to get the equipment adjusted again after that hard shot. Corsini now ready with another 3-2 pitch. Instead, he spins off the back of the mound to look that runner back. He had Shaver cheating in behind. Now it is Appleby who takes a couple of steps towards the second base bag. Now the 3-2, and it's grounded foul right over towards Stoughton's on deck hitter, James Genest. It's a tough hitting here for Courier with the full count. Another 3-2 pitch and another foul ball. This one sailing over the backstop, but fortunately also sailing over the roof of the press box. I think we've had all the excitement we can handle up here so far today. One of the lengthiest at-bats so far on the afternoon. We'll see another 3-2 offering and a pop-up over towards the third base dugout. Pires going as far as he can go, but that one over the third base dugout and a foul ball. Three straight foul balls off the bat of George Courier. Waiting for a pitch he can drive. Stoughton plating a run so far in this inning. They have another potential run in scoring position. And another 3-2 pitch, and this one popped up playable on the infield. It is Matt Shaver who takes charge behind the pitcher's mound, makes the catch for the out that ends the inning. But Stoughton does get a run without the benefit of a hit in the inning. And we'll head now to the bottom half of the third with now Stoughton leading Milford by a score of 1-0 here on Milford TV. Luke Rosa the first to the dish in the bottom of the third inning. Takes a fastball on the inside corner for strike one against Brady Conlan, now pitching with a narrow 1-0 lead. And now gets into this pitch and sends it down the left field line, but foul. Taking a look at Brady Conlan's numbers coming into this week. He has a 1-1 record and a nice 1.66 ERA. Came into this week's action having thrown 12 2/3 innings. Good strikeout numbers, 14 Ks in those 12 2/3 innings. Also has a save. And now reaching out for this one is Luke Rosa, and drops it out into shallow left field. Kyle Gagnon trying to steal the out call as he came in on the knee slide to try to make the catch, but he trapped the ball, and Rosa will reach on the leadoff single. Nice effort from Gagnon. That was a dangerous play had that ball ricocheted past him, but he was able to get the glove on it, very nearly made the catch. But instead, the second hit of the game for the Scarlet Hawks. And now first pitch swinging, Justin Appleby drives one deep out to left field. This is going to be well over everybody's head, and it's going to roll off towards the left center field fence. No problem for Luke Rosa to race around the bases. He will score as Justin Appleby slides into third base with an RBI triple that will tie this game at 1. That gets this Pheno Field crowd fired up as Appleby sent a high drive out to left field. Not enough to get it out of the cavernous left field here at Pheno Field, but plenty deep enough to get over the head of Gagnon. And at that point, rolling towards that 416-foot marker in left center field. No problem for the run to score. The only question was going to be, could Appleby circle the bases as well? He ends up at third base. So an excellent start to this inning as Milford ties it up. They now have the go-ahead run at third base with nobody out. And the leadoff batter, Nick Marcolini, taking his second at-bat of the day. Takes the pitch high. And the Milford bench once again showing the energy. As a matter of fact, spilling out a little bit too far from the dugout on that triple from Appleby. The umpire had to usher the Milford players back closer to the dugout. Biggest hit of this game so far coming off the bat of Milford's number 9 hitter, and now Marcolini working the walk. It was a long wait for Conlan in between innings, between the balk debate, the great balk debate of 2019 taking place in the top half of this inning, and also Stoughton plating a run. And so Conlan not quite as sharp here to start the third inning. Marcolini putting the pressure on the bases, trying to get down to second base, but an excellent throw from Michael Nazaro is going to get there. Marcolini not getting the greatest of jumps. It was a quick move to the plate for Conlan, and Nazaro sending that sidearm throw right on the money, leading his man right to the runner to make the out. And now Shaver pops one out to first base, so a very quick change in complexion to this inning. From 2 on with nobody out, Marcolini gets caught stealing, and now Shaver pops out. And that go-ahead run remains at third base with 2 outs, leaving it up to Pires. Pires takes the fastball outside. Oftentimes you see the catcher keep that ball in his glove when the runner tries to steal second with that lead runner at third, but Nazaro confident in his ability to get the out down there at second base, and confidence rewarded. As now that ball sails behind the back of Pires. Nazaro was able to reel it in, and somehow that avoided making contact with Pires. Appleby leads away from third as the pitch is right down the heart of the plate for a called strike. Now the next one in, and that is on the outside corner for strike 2. That looked to be a little wide, but the umpire putting up the strike call, so Pires now with a 2-strike count, now goes after that pitch and fouls it right around the shoe tops. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Milford's number 3 hitter. Pires now sends this one down the third base line, snagged on the backhand by Paquette, and he slings it across to first base in time to get the out that ends the inning. But Justin Appleby with a ringing RBI triple is able to tie this game up at 1 through 3 innings of play now here at Pheno Field. Stay tuned to coverage of Milford High School baseball here on Milford TV. Milford able to get the equalizer in the bottom half of the third inning. Could have been more, but Conlan quickly shutting down the rally, helped along by a nice throw from his catcher to gun down a would-be base stealer. Corsini firing in strike 1 now to the cleanup hitter, James Genest, as we get going in the top of the 4th. And now a foul ball to the backstop. Milford now with 1 run on 3 hits with no errors. Stoughton 1 run on just 1 hit. Again, they scored their run in the top half of the third inning thanks to a walk, a balk, a wild pitch, and a sacrifice fly. They also had a hit by pitch in the inning. And now a wave and a miss as Genest went after that pitch off the outside edge. And Danny Corsini collects his 3rd strikeout of the game. Gets the leadoff batter here in the 4th, and that brings up now Jacob Kaplan for the 2nd time. Kaplan 0 for 1. Swings at the first pitch and loops it foul out of play. Stoughton losing just 2 games so far on the season. Played a tight ball game against Attleborough back on April 9th on the road that Stoughton ended up losing 6-5. Their only other loss on the season came against one of the most dangerous teams in the league, the defending Super 8 champion Franklin Panthers. That was a 5-3 loss. So both of these teams out here today playing Franklin very tough so far on the season. As Corsini drops in a called strike. Looks like Corsini's had a very good curveball in this game. Danny back into his windup, the pitch, and just able to hold up on the swing. Corsini, a deep breath. Looking like he changed up that windup a little bit. Missing inside with the fastball. Now the next one on the way, sent on the ground to the left side. Tough play for Shaver. Sends the throw to first base high. Lament leaving his feet to keep that ball on the infield. Kaplan aboard. That should go as an infield single. It was a tricky play deep in the hole at shortstop. Pires and Shaver coming together. Shaver made the play, did everything he could to get that throw over to first base, but Kaplan able to beat it out. So there's the second Stoughton hit. Comes with one down in the inning. And Michael Nazaro now standing in as Corsini, as he has done each and every time. The runner has gotten aboard at first base. Sends that quick pickoff check over, and now sends another one low in the dirt. Lament doing a nice job of keeping that ball from ricocheting away. Kaplan right back out to a lead. And again, Corsini steps off. Nazaro patiently awaiting the first pitch of his at-bat. Runner starts and stops as the pitch is in for a strike. Nazaro singled in his first at-bat. Also had that impressive caught stealing that really changed the landscape of the bottom half of the third. Now the runner takes off as this ball is again sent in the hole at shortstop. Shaver with a better throw this time. Now the runner trying to break for third. Here's the throw back across, and it's not in time. So Kaplan taking the chance and ends up getting rewarded with two bases. He was off on contact, and so that broke up the chance for a Milford double play. And instead, knowing that that was going to be a slow developing play for Shaver to get the ball to first base, he quickly rounded the second base bag and was able to beat the relay throw from Lament. So heads up running for Kaplan. He's able to get to third with two outs. Nazaro out on the 6-3 grounder. And now Brady Conlan at the plate with the go-ahead run at third. Now the 0-1 pitch lifted in the air, foul, out of play. And Corsini quickly ahead of his counterpart. No balls, two strikes, two outs. Jacob Kaplan taking his lead in foul ground down the third base line. Here is the pitch, and it's a cue shot off the end of the bat to second. Scooped up by Appleby. He sends the short toss to first base for the out that retires the side. So Stoughton strands the go-ahead run at third base. And we move on now to the bottom half of the fourth inning. A tight ball game here, 1-1 between Milford and Stoughton on Milford TV. Danny Corsini, fresh off another good inning of work on the mound, will lead this inning off at the plate. And late on the cut. Start off 0-1 against Brady Conlan. Conlan batting with the go-ahead run at third base and two outs in the top half of this inning, but Corsini able to get him. And these two pitchers have largely been the story of the day. Not much damage done by these two offenses as Corsini sends one over to third base. And the throw to first, not in time. Corsini was busting it down that first base line, and he was able to beat the throw from Zach Paquette. And so the inning begins with an infield base hit for Corsini. One thing you can say about Danny Corsini is he is a max effort player. He is going to give you absolutely everything he has every single time he's out there, regardless of the sport. We had a chance to witness it quite a bit during the high school basketball season. Corsini, at times, one of the best offensive weapons Milford had out there, and now here on the baseball diamond, showcasing some good pitching today and legging out that infield base hit to get us started in the home half of the fourth. It's a 2-ball, no strike count now to Tyler Almeida, who popped out his first time up. Corsini takes off, the pitch a strike, the throw down, another good one from Nazaro, and he cuts down his second base stealer of the game. What a weapon behind the plate for this Stoughton team, as Michael Nazaro has been outstanding. He has not only gotten these 2 base stealers, but he has gotten them by a wide margin. It has not even been close. And so you have to wonder if this is going to make Milford think twice, as now this pitch is sent out into left field for a base hit. So the second hit of the inning, but the caught stealing taking a bit of the wind out of Milford's sails. Now trying to start over with the rally as Almeida is on with his first hit of the day. Five hits now for Milford. And the snap throw to first base after the pitch has Almeida diving back to the bag. And right now, Michael Nazaro showing the full bag of tricks from behind the plate. As this ball is now hit hard on the ground to third base, and the out recorded at second, the relay to first not in time. Paquette couldn't quite handle it cleanly on the front end of that play. Still had plenty of time to get the throw to second base. So Carter Sciutto with that smash to third. He ends up reaching on the fielder's choice. And now first pitch swinging, Nicholas Ouimet drives one out to left center field. That's down for a base hit. Sciutto can fly. He's coming around from third base. A bobble out in center field, and Sciutto will score without a throw as Nicholas Ouimet brings him home. And this will give the Scarlet Hawks a 2-1 lead. Swarzewski had a little bit of trouble picking up that baseball, and that was all Sciutto needed. There's so much speed for Carter Sciutto. Milford with the lead, and now Luke Rosa sends a shot back up the middle, but right in the direction of George Courier, who sends the short toss to second base to get the force play that ends the inning. But Carter Sciutto comes around to score on the RBI base hit for Nicholas Ouimet, and Milford takes a 2-1 lead over Stoughton, as we will head to the fifth inning when we come back next on Milford TV. A 2-out RBI base hit for Nicholas Ouimet breaks the deadlock and gives Milford their first lead of the day. So we start to get deeper in this ball game, top of the fifth. Stoughton sending their 8, 9, and 1 hitters to the plate. Now, this was the part of the lineup that gave Corsini some trouble the last time around. Kyle Gagnon, who's up there right now, worked a leadoff walk back in the third inning, and that is when the balk troubles came about. Gagnon taking that pitch high. Corsini working quickly with the bases empty. And falling behind Gagnon yet again, 3 balls and 1 strike. So in danger of walking him for the second time today. Here's the pitch, and that is in for a strike. Gagnon to be followed by Zach Paquette and Sian Swarzewski in the inning. And that pitch on the inside corner for strike 3. Gagnon was ready to trot down to first base, but gets the bad news as he is the 4th strikeout victim of the afternoon for Corsini. Keeps the leadoff man off the bases. And that brings up Paquette, who has the Stoughton run batted in. Came on a sacrifice fly back in the third. And now a fastball that hits that bottom outside corner. Milford has had some activity loosening in their bullpen behind the left field bleachers for about the last inning or so. It is Mario Lee who was warming up as this ball is trickled over to shortstop. Rushed throw for Matt Shaver. Gets past Wamet at first base, but the runner will hold there. The ball took a ricochet off the chain link fence. Fortunate for Milford that stayed on the playing surface. It saves Shaver the error as Paquette reaches on the infield base hit. So the number 9 man reaches with 1 out, and back to the top spot. And Sian Swarzewski, who has struck out twice against Corsini in the game. Coach Dion out of the third base dugout, and we'll see a full conference take place on the pitcher's mound. Mario Lee should be ready to go if needed in this inning. He has, as we mentioned, been working in that bullpen for a while. It does not look like Coach Dion is inclined to make the pitching change, at least at this time. Milford trying to break out of a 4-game losing streak. Again, it was smooth sailing through the early days of the year. Milford starting out 4-1, but it has been a tough stretch since April 18th. A 6-0 loss to Mansfield, a 5-3 loss to North Attleborough, then a 13-7 defeat at the hands of Taunton before losing a close battle here over the weekend against Framingham 6-4. A lot of the issues for Milford have been later on in games. A lot of these losses so far on the year, Milford has been tied or had a lead into the late innings, but teams have been able to mount that late game comeback. So Milford trying to stay strong to the end in this one today. It's been a close ball game all the way around. And now this ball getting away from Almeida, and that's going to allow the runner to advance into scoring position. That'll be a passed ball as that clanked off the glove of Tyler Almeida. A 2-ball, no strike count on Swarzewski, who has looked overmatched by Corsini in his first 2 at-bats, but Corsini not really going after him in this at-bat. Now a shallow fly ball out to center field, and robbing Swarzewski of a base hit was Nick Marcolini as he slid in to make the catch. Just barely kept that ball off the outfield grass. Outstanding play turned in by Marcolini, who has great speed out in center field. And good awareness for Paquette. It was tough to tell at first glance if Marcolini made the catch or if he trapped it. But Paquette staying close to that second base bag and was able to go back to tag up before the throw came in, as Marcolini quickly came up firing. So 2 outs in the inning now. A chance for the shortstop, Robbie Seaman. And Seaman sends a line drive right into the glove of Colby Pires at third base. And that will be the final out here in the 5th inning. So Stoughton strands the tying run at second base. On to the home half of the 5th inning, with Milford leading Stoughton by a score of 2-1 here on Milford TV. Justin Appleby leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. Had a big cut on that first pitch from Conlan, but couldn't catch up. Appleby has the biggest hit so far in the game as he falls behind 0-2. Appleby sent a pitch out to deep left center field for an RBI triple his first time up. That at the time tied the game up at 1. Milford able to get the go-ahead run in the 4th inning. Now the 1-2 pitch, and that is in for strike 3, so no luck for Appleby this time. It's just the 2nd strikeout for Brady Conlan today. And we'll see the 3rd plate appearance now for Nick Marcolini. Marcolini swings at the first pitch, sends it up the middle. A tricky hop for Robbie Seaman, but he hangs in there and sends a nice throw to first base. And Marcolini out on just a single pitch. 2 up and 2 down, and that will bring it to Matt Shaver. Shaver 1 for 2, and he takes a called strike. Brady Conlan in search of his 2nd 1-2-3 inning of the game. Looked like might have been a cut fastball out of the hand of Conlan. Had some late movement on it that brought it back close to that inside corner. Both of these pitchers with good stuff, as now that ball is fouled away. That might have gotten Shaver in his helmet after it bounced in the dirt. Either got the bat or the helmet. But Shaver unfazed, stands back in. Down in the count. The pitch from Conlan high. Should Shaver reach, Pires would have a chance. But Shaver, a swing and a miss. 2 Ks in the inning. The strongest inning of work of the day for Brady Conlan. Retires the side in order. And we will head to the later innings now in this game. We'll see the top of the 6th when we come back next in this 2-1 ball game between Milford and Stoughton here on Milford TV. Batters 3, 4, and 5 coming up. The starting pitcher for Milford, Danny Corsini, still out there. And the first pitch, a fair ball down the third base line, glances off the glove of Pires, rolls far down that left field line. And it'll be extra bases in the end for Courier. Could have been more as Milford left third base wide open. Eventually, Pires and Corsini closing in on that bag. It holds George Courier to second base. And now the Milford coaching staff right back out of the dugout. That was a tough play for Pires as that ball hugged the line all the way down. It looked like it may kick foul, but stayed in fair territory and then ticked off the fingertips of Pires' glove. Certainly a judgment call there, whether that will go as a straight double or if we'll see it go in the books as a single and an E5. But regardless, Stoughton immediately in business here in the 6th inning. They've had the opportunity to tack some additional runs on throughout these middle innings. They've stranded single runners on in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. But a runner in scoring position with nobody out, and Corsini twirling around to send the pickoff throw to second base with Appleby late to break to the bag. Courier, that runner at second base. James Genest, the batter at the plate, hitless against Corsini in 2 trips. Now takes a ball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Genest a ground out to third base in the 2nd inning and then struck out swinging to open up the 4th. Takes a pitch up and away, and Corsini now falling behind 3 balls and no strikes, and you have to wonder, if Corsini loses Genest, if that will prompt the pitching change. The pitch count mounting here in the 6th inning. Now Genest showing bunt, pulls the bat back and takes a pitch well wide of the strike zone for ball 4. And so the second walk of the game for Corsini. And no movement yet from the third base dugout. A pinch runner over at first base, looks like Cam Derosa running in place of Genest. A rally in the making here for Stoughton with runners at first and second base and nobody out. Jacob Kaplan at the plate, trying to sacrifice, but sent that bunt foul. Kaplan reached on an infield base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Womit cheating in on the grass at first base. As, again, Pires chances the pickoff throw to second base. Pires also in tight towards the grass at third base. And Corsini sends the first pitch high for ball 1, and right now the command not as sharp for Corsini as we saw it through the first 5 innings. The Stoughton bench sensing the shift in momentum here in the 6th inning. And the pitch, that's in for a strike, a nice one at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike on Kaplan. Stoughton runners leading away from first and second base. And the pitch, a line drive back up the middle. Fielded on a bounce by Nick Marcolini. The runners will hold up, not wanting a chance making the first out at the plate. So a line drive base hit for Kaplan, and this will load the bases for Stoughton with nobody out. And so now Coach Dion out of the dugout to make the change. Might have left Corsini in there a batter too long. And so Corsini will be pulled here. Mario Lee will come out of the bullpen. Some corresponding defensive changes as well. Some tense moments coming up here at Pheno Field as Stoughton has the bases loaded with nobody out. Milford clinging to a 1-run lead. And we'll be back after this quick break here on Milford TV. Mario Lee inheriting a tough situation here as the bases are full of Stoughton runners with no outs in the top of the 6th inning. Milford with a 2-1 lead that is very much in jeopardy. So Lee on to pitch. Danny Corsini remains in the game at third base. Colby Pires shifting to second with Justin Appleby, I believe, now out in right field, leaving Luke Rosa as the odd man out from the original defensive alignment. And the at-bat now begins, and a first pitch pop-up off the bat of the catcher, Michael Nazaro. And Colby Pires at his new position at second base, able to make the catch. And so Nazaro with a first pitch out. Just what Mario Lee could have asked for. But still a ways to go. Just 1 out in the inning now for the number 7 hitter, Brady Conlan. He was 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts against Corsini. And now the first pitch popped up again in foul ground behind the plate. It looks to be room for Tyler Almeida, who makes the catch. And on the first 2 pitches out of the bullpen, Mario Lee induces back-to-back pop-ups, and now an opportunity presenting itself for Milford to get out of this inning. With Kyle Gagnon now stepping to the plate. Gagnon walking in the 3rd inning and scoring a run. He struck out swinging in the 5th inning. Bases remain loaded for Stoughton now with 2 down. Lee to the set and the pitch. And Gagnon not inclined to swing on that first offering after seeing the results from his previous 2 teammates. Pitch missing high for ball 1. The next pitch, a fastball in for a strike. This Fino crowd, which has continued to grow as we've gotten deeper into this game, trying to give their full support to Mario Lee out on the mound. Time called by the home plate umpire with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike on the Stoughton left fielder, Kyle Gagnon. The next pitch, high for ball 2. George Courier led off this inning with a single. He's at third. James Genest walked. He's at second base. And Kaplan with a base hit is at first. And now the 2-1 pitch. That is high for ball 3. And so now Mario Lee with his back firmly against the wall. A 3-ball, 1-strike count on Gagnon with nowhere to put him. A walk would tie the game. And here is the 3-1 pitch. That is high for ball 4. And that will give Courier the chance to trot home with the tying run, and this game now knotted up at 2-2. So a tough twist there for Mario Lee. He did the heavy lifting, getting the first 2 outs of the inning, a chance to get out of it unscathed, but allows the 2-out walk. And now fires in strike 1 to the number 9 man, Zach Paquette. He's had a productive day out of the number 9 spot, a sacrifice fly and an infield single. And now sends one foul and out of play to fall behind 0-2. So both of Stoughton's runs that have come home so far today have scored without the benefit of a hit. Lee now ready with his 0-2, and that one a little bit low. Lee was about to take off back for the third base dugout, but instead will stay out there now with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on the hitter. Lee now trying to preserve the tie. Bases are still loaded for Stoughton with 2 outs as timeout is granted at the plate. This game right at the 90-minute mark now. Lee back to the set. His 1-2 pitch is up and in. Stoughton runners leading away from every base. Large lead at second base for Jacob Kaplan. As now the pitch is floated out towards the shortstop spot where Matt Shaver is able to make the catch. And that will retire the side. But Stoughton able to get a run on the bases loaded walk, so we will head now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Knotted up once again, 2-2 between Milford and Stoughton here on Milford TV. Stoughton's run in the top half of the 6th inning charged to the starting pitcher, Danny Corsini. He finished up the day with 5 innings pitched, 2 runs allowed, both of them earned on 5 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 4. He will not factor into the decision today. Brady Conlan, meanwhile, the starter for Stoughton, remains out there for the bottom half of the 6th inning. He has allowed a total of 2 runs on 6 hits to this point in the ball game. A walk and 3 strikeouts. Set to face batters 3, 4, and 5 in the Milford order, as the Scarlet Hawks now look to once again retake the lead. This has been a seesaw battle throughout the first 5+ innings. A good battle once again between two quality rivals in the Davenport Division, and Colby Pires is going to wear that one to open up the 6th inning. Brady Conlan coming off of what was his best inning of the game in the bottom half of the 5th. Retired the side in order on 2 strikeouts. Gets Pires off the backside, so the go-ahead run immediately on the base paths to open up the bottom of the 6th, and now, not sure if that was intended to be a pitch out or if Conlan just yanked that one outside. Pires was not running. And so far, Michael Nazaro has not needed the assist of a pitch out to catch base stealers in this game. Now a ground ball right up the middle, a tailor-made double play ball. The flip to second base out there, but the relay to first is not in time, so Corsini able to hustle once again on the bases to avoid getting doubled up. So he will replace Pires on the base paths. Colby out on the 4-6 force play. Corsini safe on the fielder's choice. Corsini was thrown out trying to steal second base his last time on the base paths, as now Tyler Almeida sends a ground ball foul down the first base line. Almeida singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. And now a pitch low. Corsini back out to a lead at first, being held on by Genest, as that pitch was well inside on Almeida, but he offered at it, sent it off the handle, foul down the first base line. Looks like Milford might have had a hit and run play on. Almeida wanting to make sure he didn't leave Corsini hanging out to dry at second base. Now Almeida lifts a foul out of play. No activity warming up for Stoughton. At no point have we seen any arms loosening, so this game right now belongs to Brady Conlan. Here's the next one to Almeida. That misses up and away. And it's now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The Milford bench players again spilling out right to the edge of the warning track on the third base side. Looking to see their teammates spark another rally, trying to take the lead here late in this game. Remains a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Almeida. The next pitch sent back up the middle. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. Corsini will advance to second base and hold there. It's the second hit of the game for Tyler Almeida. So we made the point earlier in the game. Milford looking for their senior captain, Tyler Almeida, to get it going at the plate, and that's exactly what he's done today, a 2 for 3 showing. He pushes the go-ahead run into scoring position, as Carter Sciutto will stand in. Sciutto watches the first pitch sail over the plate for strike 1. Carter reached on a fielder's choice his last time up and then came around to score what at the time was the go-ahead run. Now sends a fly ball down the right field line in foul territory. A long run for Jacob Kaplan, but he can't get there. It's Oakland Alameda Coliseum caliber foul territory down the right field line here at Pheno Field. So if you have the speed, you certainly have the territory to make a catch down there. And the next pitch into Sciutto is a shot foul again down that right field line. An 0-2 count on Sciutto. The next pitch, that one taken outside. Ooh, a tough pitch to take for Sciutto. At times that strike zone has been wide today, but Carter fortunate to still be standing there now with a count of 1-2, and Conlan working very quickly. A roller now towards shortstop. The flip to second out there. Sciutto racing to first base. He beats the throw. It kicks away from the first baseman, and Corsini is going to come around to score. And Milford retakes the lead at 3-2. And a massive turn of events there, as it looks like Stoughton had it teed up for the inning-ending double play. But the throw from second base got away from James Genest at first, and Corsini was able to come around. And Milford takes a 3-2 lead here with 2 outs in the 6th. And Sciutto with excellent speed at first base with Nicholas Lament at the plate. So Sciutto reaches on the fielder's choice. Unlikely he'd be awarded an RBI there, as he had the costly error on the throw from second. Lament taking a called strike. Big secondary lead for Sciutto as Lament lifts a foul out of play. Now both sides with an error. But a costly one here for Stoughton, allowing Milford to take a 3-2 lead. And Lament now with a half swing and a miss. And Conlan gets the strikeout to end the inning, but Milford able to push across the go-ahead run, thanks in part to the error on the second baseman. So Milford carries a 3-2 lead into the 7th inning, 3 outs away from a victory. We'll see if they can seal the deal when we come back next here on Milford TV. 3 runs on 7 hits with an error for Milford, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for Stoughton. That 1 error for the Black Knights right now, the difference in this game, the errant throw to first base by the second baseman, George Courier, allowed the go-ahead run to score in the bottom of the 6th. And so now Milford looking to hold serve here in the top of the 7th inning to earn the victory. It would break them out of a 4-game losing skid, but Stoughton will bring the top of their order to the plate against the relief pitcher, Mario Lee, who, all things considered, did great work in the top half of the 6th inning, inheriting a bases-loaded, no-out situation, nearly pitched his way out of it, ended up allowing a single inherited runner to score on a bases-loaded walk. But now fires strike 1 into Cyan Swazurski. Swazurski 0 for 3 out of the leadoff spot. Now takes the pitch high to even the count. A pair of strikeouts and a pop-out has been the day for Swazurski. He'll be followed by Robbie Seaman and George Courier in this top of the 7th inning. The next pitch is sent foul, and that once again might have gotten a piece of Tyler Almeida, who's had a painful day behind the plate today. Took a hard shot off the face mask in the middle innings. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Swazurski. The pitch, fastball high. Danny Corsini had a 1-2-3 inning in the first. It's the only real easy inning that Milford pitching has had today, as Swazurski now pops this pitch up out into shallow left center field. A long run for Marcolini, but he is there to make the catch. And out number 1 recorded. Stoughton with at least one base runner in every inning, with the exception of that first. They've stranded a total of 7 runners through the first 6. The base is empty here with 1 out, and Robbie Seaman at the plate. Seaman today, a ground out to the pitcher's mound, a hit by pitch, and a line out to third. It was a hard shot his last time up with a runner at second base, but Pires making the catch. And now a brushback pitch from Mario Lee, that one coming up under the chin of Robbie Seaman. And now another foul ball sent to the backstop. Good velocity out of Mario Lee. The key is the command. Ready now to bring home the 2-1 offering. And it's a high fly ball out to left field. Carter Sciutto calling off Marcolini. He makes the catch. And Stoughton now down to their last out, as their number 3 hitter, George Courier, will stand in. It was Courier who got that 6th inning rally started with a leadoff base hit off of Danny Corsini. Just 1 out left to get for Mario Lee. And the pitch misses high for ball 1. Stoughton sweeping the season series against Milford last season. They've won 3 out of the last 4 regular season meetings. And now a called strike at the knees, a pretty pitch from Lee. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Lee hesitates, now comes home. Misses down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Courier overall on the day, 1 for 3. Scored the tying run last inning on that bases loaded walk. But Milford getting the go-ahead run in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 1 out away from a victory, but a 3-ball, 1-strike count now on the batter. Should Courier reach, James Genest would get a chance. Here's the 3-1, and it's low for ball 4, so we're not done quite yet. The 2nd walk allowed by Mario Lee, the 4th walk for Milford pitching in the game. And so a chance now for the cleanup hitter, James Genest, as we will have another visit to the Milford pitcher's mound. And you have to imagine that we might see Courier try for a steal here. A full conference on the pitcher's mound now breaking up. This Milford defense has been good for the bulk of the day here today. The one error that we have on our scorecard was a judgment call on the ball hit to Pires off the bat of Courier last inning. Courier now the runner at first base. Genest at the plate taking ball 1 against Mario Lee. Lee in line to get the win in this game, but he needs to nail down this last out. And he falls behind Genest, 2 balls and no strikes. So again, we talk about the command of Lee being so important. Got 2 easy outs to open this inning, but then the walk, and now a 2-ball, no strike count on Genest. Here's the pitch. And narrowly missing the inside part of the plate. And it may have been the missed location that lost Lee that call. It looked to be a borderline pitch, but Almeida having to reach across his body. So now the 3-0 pitch, that hits as a high strike. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count, with Courier leading away from first base. The pitch from Lee is a line drive back up the middle. That will drop down in front of Nick Marcolini for a base hit. And so now Stoughton has the tying run in scoring position, the go-ahead run at first base. And what looked like it could have been a tidy finish to this game is now growing more and more anxious by the moment for the Milford side, with 2 aboard and 2 away, and Jacob Kaplan at the dish. Kaplan has 2 hits today, and a big cut on the first pitch. A few extra miles per hour behind that fastball for Mario Lee to get it past the bat of Kaplan. Now ready with the 0-1, and that one is right down the middle for a called strike 2. So now Milford 1 strike away from victory. A no ball, 2-strike count on Kaplan, with Courier and Genest on the base paths for the Knights. The set and the 0-2 pitch is high, not enticing for Kaplan. The Milford bench willing on 1 final strike out of the hand of Mario Lee. He gets the sign from Almeida. And now the 1-2 pitch. And that misses for ball 2. And where that pitch missed, your guess is as good as mine. The Milford bench was ready to celebrate. Lee was ready to walk off the mound. But somewhere that pitch missed the strike zone according to the home plate umpire. So we continue with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Here's the next pitch, and that is on the outside corner for strike 3. So maybe a little makeup call there for the umpire, but in the end, Lee gets the strikeout that seals the victory for the Scarlet Hawks in an outstanding back-and-forth game between 2 great Hockomock League rivals. It is Milford able to edge out the Stoughton Black Knights by a final score of 3-2. So with the victory, Milford breaks out of that 4-game losing streak, and they make their way back to the 500 mark now at 5-5 overall on the season. Stoughton loses for just the 3rd time on the year. They now fall to 7-3, but will continue to hold on to first place in the Davenport Division standings. What an excellent matchup here today, and an excellent crew from Milford TV on hand to cover it for you. Our director for the game, Patrick Garapi. Our camera operators, Malcolm Zale and Scott Crisafulli, and Igor Freeman helping out as an assistant on the crew as well. And I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, Milford defeats the Stoughton Black Knights by a final score of 3-2. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.